start. But Magnolia Restaurant has been shut down for some, like pretty much all week. Yeah, not gonna start. That's why I definitely want some footage down here.
Turn back up.
I don't know, it's significantly cooler than it was out there.
There's the cemetery.
You can pretty much shut that off in here. This is actually considered a quiet area. That's why after that spirit box will be turned down. Did you get any games or words along the way?
They said elbow and green.
What was the last one?
Green.
Brain, nothing. Alright, so let me kind of give you the layout of the land here real quick. And we're going to be brief here. Again, this is a hotel, that's why it's considered a quiet area. But when we crossed that last crosswalk coming over, we just crossed over into the original Charlestown walls. So Charleston used to be called Charlestown, and was called the Walled City. This is one of the first streets we ever had. We're walking on it. It's called Lodge Alley. So the interesting thing is I actually have the full list of residents of every person that's ever lived down here. And I always look for the names of the people that have lived here. So these two buildings were not here, but these bricks were. So these bricks are original. These people were considered lower class based off an archaeological dig that they found some tools and silverware, clothing, that kind of thing. The reason why it's called Lodge Alley, Freemasons had one of their Masonic lodges on this alley before it was residential. So we've had the words brick, Freemason, Illuminati, all kinds of things show up around here. Yeah, that one just came to me last month. I was like, really? So there weren't many people that actually lived down here. So again, the list is short, but I do get the common names of Benjamin and John. There were 4 different Johns that lived down here, but when I get Benjamin and John together, they both lived here in 1801. That's 2 out of 5 people that lived here. Those are 2 common names that I get together. Just had it actually last week. So again, can't make this stuff up when it happens all the time. So, and it's not like always on the same spirit box either. It's always on something different. Again, this is an interesting alley. Every hotel has a claim of a ghost. None of them give me free rooms to verify. Next summer, the wife and I are making rounds. We're going to be hitting every haunted hotel downtown Charleston for new podcast episodes, so to either verify it or debunk what their claims are. So we're going to be hitting them pretty hard.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So again, I have a rough life, brother. Let me tell you. I write books and I go ghost hunting. It's really rough. From here, just to kind of give you guys the layout of the land, I like to give you this piece because we're going to talk more about that wall later on. We're going to cut through this neighborhood. It's still a quiet zone until we get around that corner. We will start seeing much larger groups. You're going to see those large groups of 20 plus people. Probably you'll start appreciating your small private party, right? So it's going to be very, what's today, Thursday? Yeah, today's Thursday. So it might not be overcrowded, but we will kind of choose our spot. I'll give you some myths and legends of the town, let you guys kind of take a seat for a moment because it is very hot and muggy. And then we're going to investigate a female pirate over at the Powder magazine. And we will dive into that one pretty heavy, like what we did with the Pinckney Mansion site, which, by the way, I'm going to point out that is way heavier than what I normally see. The high spike you've had, the work that you've had, I don't know what's coming up on yours yet, but again, fingers crossed with the amount that's going on, something's going to pop up. And the 2 cameras actually picked up on something. You guys were pointed and aimed in the right areas at all times, plus you guys both seem to be pretty steady. I'm not going to be looking at like one of these YouTube kids walking around downtown, which is going to be nice. So again, we're going to be just cutting through a neighborhood. We're literally right on the cusp of where I'm allowed to go, so we're just going to cut through it. Once we exit the alley, we'll probably get that place first again. Again, I'm going to place them all together. Alley? I can't make this stuff up.
Lodge Alley.
It says alley right on the word list.
What was the other words?
A, H-A-Y, and Alley, A-L-L-E-Y, and Union, U-N-I-O-N.
Hey, you better not leave me by myself, Eugene.
I gotta shut back and get your ass.
You might.
Joshua.
I hope he finds one on this and I try to bug you guys.
It's probably Joshua. You don't have anything else.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be recording right now or not. But I am. Hold on.
We are going to keep
I'm gonna check out my spot before I sit down. Oh, okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Sure you don't sit on.
Somebody's ghost. We're definitely going to keep yours running just because it's a lot easier to splice two on yours. Yours, it doesn't matter because it's a different program.
Okay.
So yeah, you can definitely leave yours off. What other words do we have before Will? Was there anything else? I heard insanity come up.
Will, insanity, conflict, alley, hate, and union.
I normally use your list as kind of like, because there was like 15 stories on this one. So I literally like wait to see like what's going to pop up and not kind of go off of it. But if there's going to be clues, and last night there was a clue on there that they didn't tell me about. The woman's initials for the ghost of what those folks up there are always looking for. You're going to see other tours go straight to that cemetery over there. Her initials showed up on the word list last night, and I never even knew it.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, you got to be kidding me. You don't get initials randomly on that app. So, but anyway. Did you guys notice the beautiful brick alley that we passed by?
Mm-hmm.
So it's residential at the end. We're not allowed to go down there as a tour group. I'm the guy that got caught, by the way. So, but at any rate, it's called Philadelphia Alley now, but we all tell the story of what it used to be. And it used to be called Dueller's Alley. So after duels became illegal and stupid, they renamed it after a city that helped us with one of our fires, Philadelphia. The interesting thing is if you turn around, that wall back there is actually part of the alley, but the doorway in the middle is for the loser of a duel. So in the event somebody lost, meaning they died from a duel, they would carry him over this courtyard, over to St. Philip Cemetery, drop the body, go celebrate the win. Like that's, yeah. So that's why that doorway's still there. I still don't remember where I found that little nugget of info, but nobody else knows that little fact as far as the other guys. That's pretty cool. But anyway, we all tell the story of one specific duel. I still get you know, things from the spirit boxes and little things as we kind of talk about it, just to see what actually pops up. Even though I don't go down the alley anymore, I used to, but it used to be very quiet. You would use my voice recorder as far as what to listen to. There was a doctor that moves down here. His name is Joseph Brown Ladd. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancee Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. The attorney that was handling the money told her to send the doctor away. He thinks that he's just after her money. He just graduated med school. He's going to start his practice here in Charleston. He comes down. He's dressed pretty well. The coachman that brought him into town basically set him up to be rendezvous. So it wasn't a very good start. Somebody walking by, seeing what was about to happen, because he knew the fellas that were dropping him off. It's light. We'll take it. But he sees what's about to happen, and he says, "Let me take you somewhere else." He took him to 59 Church Street, trying to save this guy's life. The guy that was walking by, his name was Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. So, 59 Church Street is up this way. We're on Church Street. That's another reason why I like to tell it up here. So the two become friends. The doctor's practice starts to take off. He's making lots of money. Amanda's going to be moving down soon. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. Every haunted city has a whistler. Ours just happens to be a doctor. So, with that said, him and Ralph go see plays together, but the doctor gets better seats because he makes more money. So they can't talk about the play during the play, they wait till after. One night, they go see William. We did get the word Will. They seen William III from Shakespeare, and they're talking about the new actress that was in town. The doctor loved her, Ralph did not. They start arguing. Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiance back home in Rhode Island, Amanda. Obviously, they get pretty angry at each other. They go their separate ways. Ralph is from here. He goes to the newspaper. He's going to put an ad in the paper about what a disgrace the doctor is to the city of Charleston over this whole argument. So, the doctor sees it. He rebuttals with, let's go to Builder's Alley. We're going to settle this. So they come down. They take their 20 paces and turn. The doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he's shocked. He did not want to kill his friend. Ralph still has his one shot. Puts it in the kneecap. Sorry, dude. It's usually the person right in front of me that gets the word. Puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. So he didn't come through the death gate that I just told you about. His friends pick him up. They carry him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later. This is the late 1700s. He dies 10 days later from bleeding out, more than likely. So, they say as you walk through the alley, you can hear the doctor whistling. I do have some whistles I can't debunk, but keep in mind, all the locals know the story. Walking down Cumberland or Queen, they're going to throw a whistle down the alley. So we would use my audio as kind of a piece of, is it an actual thing going on? Another piece of interesting history about that, just because you guys seem like you're very interested in the history down here. Towards the end of that alley, the bricks get broken, and the bricks are actually sun-dried by slave children. So there's handprints and fingerprints in those bricks. That's how I got caught with my very noisy, annoying group with the lasers and all that stuff down there, because my folks were stopping to take pictures. I'm like, guys, it's a brief moment. Just I'm going to point out, and we're going to keep moving. The neighbor came out, and he wasn't real happy with me. So, but again, it's a very interesting story, regardless. And we did get Will, but it would be William, because that's the name of the play. Like that would be a little bit more succinct. The story that they all tell, and I told you we got the initials from last night. It's a brief one, but every tour likes to drag it out for 10 minutes. So if you guys go on another ghost tour, that's the one I'm going to tell you to do. So that's St. Philip's Church, and there's a sign right inside the cemetery gate, and it basically says there's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. It's because they don't want guys like me in there taking pictures and video and all kinds of mess. 1888, a young lady dies by the name of Sue Howard Hardy. Her initials are last night, SH showed up. Still Sue Hardy. Still have the same initials. I've had SHH pop up, and I've even heard it on the spirit boxes. But this was unique last night because of the SH. So anyway, she dies 6 days after her stillborn child. 1987, local photographers putting a book together of all of our beautiful cemeteries. He captures a full apparition over in that cemetery, over that grave, woman wearing a shawl, baby basket next to her. It's 1987, no Photoshop, no cell phones, no craziness. He sends it to Kodak. I know I don't have to explain to you guys what that is. I have to explain to the little ones. They're like, what's a Kodak? So, but they can't debunk the picture either. Now, the picture for guys like me, it's gold. Like, it's absolute proof. You cannot deny what's going on inside this picture. However, it's cursed. Females that hold it, you're going to get the same symptoms like what I told you about at Big John's. If you're holding it and you're pregnant, you're probably not going to have a good pregnancy based on the gist of the story. I do not show the picture. However, if something pops up based on that particular story, I always give you a warning before you click the link. This is the cursed photo. So again, you can look it up for yourselves, have the mail show it to you. Just do not handle it on your phones. Again, I'm not going to be the guy that gets a phone call 9 months later that something's wrong with the family. I'm not going to be that guy. Let's get your mind set up on pirates, and my friend Jack is hanging out up there. You guys are going to realize why I call him Jack here very shortly. But you guys see the burning gas lamp off in the distance? Yes. That is the pirate house. Somebody lives there. Do not go in his backyard looking for ghosts. He gets very angry. Don't ask me how I know all of these things of how to make the neighbors mad, but I'm that guy.
You're the guy.
Yeah, I'm always that guy. Oh, we got another group going straight to that cemetery. What do you got? Sympathy, right?
Like sympathy for our babies.
Yeah.
I know.
Could be. Very much so. But it is kind of a stretch. We're going to let this group pass by before I tell you more about the pirate house. Just because it's going to be a large group and she's got her chains and all that stuff going on. So they're going to go straight up to the cemetery.
Brown University.
What's
Is
that?
that where the doctor went?
Kitty
Brown
cat.
University.
Can I pet that cat?
I just figured with Rhode Island.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Sorry, all her.
You find it? They cut right through. that's where Blackbeard men would come off their ships and actually have a few drinks, meet a few ladies, and have a place to sleep. Blackbeard actually stayed on the ships. He never set foot on our soil. So, I know. People claim, because there was a tunnel dug from the Pirate House 1 block away to Dock Street Theater, one of the top 10 haunted locations in America. Do I have that kind of evidence? I don't. I've been in there dozens of times. I'm down here all the time. I do not have any kind of major claims to that building. But, at any rate, they dug a tunnel over there because it was also a whorehouse, a playhouse, and a hotel during that time frame. They would obviously go down there for the whorehouse, but they also went down there for the playhouse. Pirates tie really good knots. They would work backstage in between bartering with the locals. So again, very interesting piece of the pirate history here in Charleston, just because there was so much going on. Now that your mindset is on pirates, I say we go across the street and go learn more about Ann Cormack and see what happens with this young lady. This is where I take a break. By the way, if you guys are picture people, tourists, it doesn't get any better than that. 2 nights away from a full moon. On a full moon night, we'll actually be on the other side of the steeple. So, I know, history can be boring. I saw that young.
It's a couple hours past my bedtime.
Not a night out.
Not at all.
Most of you guys said you're in the medical field. I figured you guys are used to not getting any sleep.
Him especially, he just has finished residency. Starts his job Monday.
Very cool. Ooh, yeah, this is where last stop. I have to wring out the shirt. This humidity is killing me. It's been like this for weeks.
We're used to it. We're in Georgia.
Yeah.
Is this the place we're recording?
After I'm done telling the whole history here,
Awesome.
I'll say definitely go ahead and get your recorder going. We'll probably have to change your battery, by the way. Your battery's probably getting pretty low.
But I keep going, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yours is good. You're on a battery charge. All right, so let me tell you what's going on here. Anything coming up, by the way?
No, not right now.
So we're going to talk about this building over here with the crosses on it. That building to your right, straight ahead, those are not crosses, those are earthquake bolts. You guys left the big earthquake of 1886. Earthquake bolts are basically a turnbuckle to go through the roof or the floors of buildings. In the event we have another earthquake, you tighten them up, it straightens the building back up. Great theory, doesn't work. Interesting. Weird spelling of camera. Yeah. I'll have to dive into that one. Those are the very first earthquake bolts that Charleston actually put in. Why? Because this is the oldest government building on the East Coast. So again, finished in 1713. It did serve in 7 different wars, including the Civil War. That was its last servant there. Charlestown Walls, let me go there. So the street behind me, this is Cumberland. This is where that wall was that I was telling you guys about. It went up half a block past the powder magazine and started going south towards the battery. It's tucked into the corner on purpose. In the event, from 3 blocks away, it gets struck by cannon. Gonna have a hard time getting through those walls. They're 32 inches thick. Let's say it goes all the way through and blows up the gunpowder. There's sand in the roof from 1712 that's supposed to go up in the air and drop to put out the fires on the gunpowder. That's the way it's designed. Yeah, the sand is still there because it's never been attacked. It's a great theory. Also, it doesn't work. So we had another powder magazine closer to the battery. Sand went up after it got attacked. Could not put out the fire, burned to the ground. This is the only one left. So, I know, right? I tell you all the crazy history on this building because our story actually begins in the middle of its construction, and it's just a familiar building because of the age of it. So 1708 is when the story begins. This building is still in construction. A young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Ann Cormack. She moves here with her dad and his mistress. The mistress is her mom. The 3 of them are getting away from his wife. You guys follow me on that one? Okay. A lot of people ask me to slow down or say it again. So, be surprised how many people do that. So once they get here, this is where they land, and I don't want to know how angry that wife was that they moved halfway across the world in 1708 by boat. So they land here. This building is familiar. They buy a plantation up in the Georgetown area, about an hour to an hour and a half north. He sends the daughter down here to sell the crops and all that stuff because the mom dies pretty quickly after getting here. We're going to fast forward to 1713. The building is done. 1715, pirates are coming through town. Anne Cormack is a teenager. As a child, rumor had it that Anne actually stabbed one of her servants with a knife to the belly, like killed them. Like, I'm just giving you the mentality of this young lady for the rest of the story. In 1715, when pirates are coming through town, she's pretty excited, obviously because of this type of mentality. She falls in love pretty quick. This guy's name is James Bonney. Dad doesn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. Of course he doesn't approve. I wouldn't approve either, and I don't approve. So she runs away to Jamaica. She gets married. Anne Cormack becomes Anne Bonny, your most famous female pirate of the Golden Age. Now, when she gets down there, James Bonney, her new husband, is a coward. This is not who she wanted. She wanted Captain Jack Sparrow from the pirate movies. This is not him. He's a privateer. He's a spy for the British. So she remarries again, or not remarries, falls in love again, because she stayed married to James Bonney the entire time. My apologies. The guy she falls in love with, his name is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. That's why I named the cat Jack. He likes to follow us around. So Calico Jack is very young. He's called Calico Jack because he wears the jackets of the men he kills. So he's a very dapper young man, and he has his own pirate crew, and Anne wants to be part of it. Now, females curse pirate ships. You cannot have a girl on a pirate crew. So the deal he makes is that she has to dress like the pirate crew in order to become part of it. She's okay with this cross-dressing because back in Ireland, Dad used to dress her up as a boy to hide her away from his wife. So she's okay with this. She just wants to be a pirate. Let's do this. So she becomes part of the crew. She's allowed to dress like a female in his quarters. Of course, he's the captain. Sure. So, of course, eventually she gets pregnant. Probably wasn't long after, to be quite honest. Can't have a pregnant pirate guy on the crew. So he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby, come back. We'll figure it out when you come back. She has the baby, returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to that child. She's also dressed like a girl. She doesn't care anymore about hiding her gender. This makes Jack mad. Now, knowing her mentality, the way you do, she's going to make him even more mad. He just captured another pirate crew and they're down below deck. She's going to go flirt with these guys. The guy she's flirting with turns out to be a girl, just to be a guy, pretending to be a pirate, and so that way Calico Jack can capture them. So again, now we have two females doing the exact same thing on the same ship. Unheard of during this time frame. So what happens from there, she convinces this young lady, whose name is Mary Read, to become part of the crew. The British find out where they are. They send their entire fleet after them. All the men pirates are down below deck, too drunk to come up. Anne and Mary are the only two fighting back above deck. Obviously, the ship gets captured. Anne's last words to Calico Jack as he's getting arrested were, "You should have fought like a man instead of going down like a dog." So the word dog shows up here quite often as well. But the judge, his name is Nicholas Laws. He wants to see two men separately. He doesn't know the females. So he tries and hangs all the other men, including Calico Jack. They're all dead and gone. They go in front of the judge. They reveal their gender, trying to save themselves. He doesn't care that they're female. You're still pirates. You're going to hang. Now, we plead our bellies. That was the last thing they said, both claiming to be pregnant. You cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He sends them both back to jail in hopes that they'll delay hanging. Anne's dad is still here. He has all of his Irish money. He bails her out, brings her back home. She remarries again. Guy number 4, in case you lost tally, has 4 children and dies at the age of 84. I know that seems a lot of weird random facts, but those are the only common things among all of the books that I read about this woman. As far as Mary Read, she died a year later in 1721 from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. We don't know if her pregnancy were true or false. We don't know how bumpy and oozy and gross that death was, but I'm sure it was. You can use your imaginations. Now, you can ask whatever you guys want to in here. Cameras, you guys can actually go to the front and actually get some footage of the front of the building if you'd like. Just stay out of the other tours' ways. But as far as the spirit boxes, the only 2 questions that I can actually prove, nomination is interesting. Let me know if you get democracy here, too.
No. Got nurse, English.
Talk about the English.
Automatic,
Very cool.
automatic, and
See if Port Royal shows up, all that good stuff. But the only 2 questions are, what are the names of Calico Jack's ship, which I do know of, and what are the names of Anne Bonny's parents, which I also know. So, again, everything else is fair game. You guys get direct answers? You get direct answers. We'll see what happens. I don't know the names of the kids. I have no idea. If you want to ask her how many kids she had, according to legend, she technically had 5. 1 in Cuba, 4 later. How many times she actually fell in love? The story says 4, because we don't have a correlation that she did not fall in love with Mary Read and have a relationship there either. This is normally a dead EMF zone. So, Ryan, if you get anything on your red numbers, I'll be very interested to know. We are going to definitely change out your battery so you
It's
can have
good
some more
now.
footage. Yep, I figured as much. But everybody else,
You did say batteries earlier.
I did say that.
Sorry, bud.
Eugene, which building am I supposed to get the front of?
Around here, this one over here. I'll walk with you.
Walk out here.
Annie, show yourself. Come to me. Come to me, Annie. Come to the metal stick. Annie, come to the metal stick. Come to the metal stick. Show your ass. Come on. We know you're a hoe. Come on. Yeah, for me. Come on, hoe. Show up. Show us yourself.
Wait, unlock them all. I forgot to turn them on.
Come on, hoe. Come on. Come on. Come on out here. Scare me. Come on. Show it to us. You are not power to the power. Just a coward.
You're gonna piss her off.
If you could hear me yell coward, turn it to blue. Come on, coward. There's no hoe coward. That's what I call. Should have hung. Coward. Come on, turn it to blue. Come on, you coward, turn it to blue. Yeah, that's what I thought. Don't you tell me today.
Oh, he'll hear you tomorrow.
They won't be on here.
He'll be on here.
You serious?
He said that them parking meters would make it go crazy. He's out there pissing this lady off.
Who?
Whoever we're trying to find.
Get anything?
And honestly, the
Getting too much here tonight.
as far as I'm listening for things on the side.
Right.
The one I use is actually a three-way, so it records me directly and then noise this way.
Nice.
So we want that instead of the great, the great vocal that you're gonna have tomorrow morning. You listen to the, let's go to the tour before you do it, so you see it. Holy cow, that is a big difference. Actually, how you doing on that thing? Did you get any footage up front?
We did.
Are you staying awake?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the
I'm
front
gonna
of the
tease you
building
though.
there?
Yeah, this is yeah. If you wanted to go around, you can.
I'll walk around there. Make sure we get a little bit.
Any spikes at all, Brian?
No.
No.
4.0 is high as it's going.
We'll take it. Again, anything over here is a spike. That's a big deal. It's definitely not the thinking man. It's like, how's your work day coming? I'm excited about I'm getting it back. Jeff. Jeff is the one I talked to.
Yeah.
Josh over here. He hasn't been able to make work. He's not getting it. It's perfectly fine. It's just because he can't do that.
Right.
So again, that's why I love the recording. Is we actually do that.
Right.
You're actually doing a little bit more than average. I'm from the first to the final. Democracy goes up to a lot of the chiropractors go to their own family. And they work at democracy. I didn't even like getting into this story until I got better in Philadelphia Alley. I didn't even believe it until I started actually getting evidence from it. And then I did all kinds of research on pirates. And like, I'm still learning more every day.
Right.
Like I'm just not the pirate universe.
Right.
Or the vampires or this kind of guy. And then like pirates. Pirate stories.
No, I didn't.
That could be based on that.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Yeah.
are right there.
Yeah.
Wake up, Virginia. Something's biting me.
I'll be the Annie.
Smile, Josiah.
I'm that devil.
Maybe the ghost is behind you.
We're not going to know every little detail, but it was like the first thing I saw as I'm going through the data
Right.
this morning. I'm like, I gotta do this.
Here, come over here. Get me, and then get in here.
What do you mean?
Like, keep me as your person.
Yeah, I already did this. But I have to have you in the view, so I can't do the whole thing.
That's what I'm saying. Go right there. Go.
I already did this with Brian.
Okay. I was gonna say, there's the blocks right there. That
Is
would
it normal for people not to see anything on here?
be, yeah. They'll point out stuff.
Because I
tomorrow.
haven't seen nothing.
He'll point stuff out tomorrow.
Well, that's gonna stink. I want to see it tonight.
He's gonna send us all of this
Because he
footage.
already said Josh ain't doing his right.
Oh, did he?
Not to Josh, but
No.
he just said he's not getting it.
Yeah, he's not hearing it.
Which I'm not getting it either.
He just said Josh isn't hearing it. You ever feel like you're being watched?
You ever feel like you're being followed?
Yeah, I do actually. By my wife.
No, that would be me.
What's the thing?
I was just, I have a bridal party tomorrow, so I was just double checking.
Whoa, dog.
You ever feel like somebody's coming up behind you?
Yeah, I'm the devil.
Peter.
This feeder?
Peter.
Hook 'em.
Yeah.
Peter Rabbit.
Oh. Peter Pirate. The cat's name that keeps walking around and they're just correcting me.
Peter Rabbit did steal carrots.
He did. I don't think he had an eye patch and a wooden leg though.
No. Great movie though. If you haven't seen Peter Rabbit, too.
I have not seen the second.
Second one's pretty good too.
So, again, this spot here, as great as this story is, it is a hit or miss. So we'll kind of see what comes out of the red spirit box. I'm going to start collecting devices. Again, you guys can ask me a million questions. I know we had some really good conversations about what people normally ask. So if you have any more curiosities, I'm still pretty open. See that with a lot of it jostling around. You stopped your video already?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. So, I appreciate the fact that you guys were engaged with the history. I never know the history. Who's going to be engaged and who's not going to be. It's always a 50-50 split.
Hey! Ooh,
What do you got?
that's like the first movement I've seen all night.
Right there by the tree.
To the right of it, right here.
To the right of it.
There was a group that walked
Wonder.
by.
There's Wonder. At the end of the year.
I see it. I see it.
Pirates Wonder.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. That's a
That
possibility. We're going to let that run for a few minutes.
I'm not
Peter?
crazy?
It might be
Keep following.
Peter.
Keep following.
Wander.
Tell your mom not to move out of my thing.
He's Peter and the Wolf. We have Wolf
Oh,
too.
I missed Wolf.
Peter and the Wolf.
We have Peter and the word wolf, and it says suspicious in between them.
Interesting.
It does say it.
What is that?
What are you guys looking at? Because I'm looking over here.
I'm looking at the right.
That's the same thing you are.
Okay.
I'm waiting for that cold dot to be hitting it, so definitely keep that thing going. So last night, this did not give me much. The
Oh,
fact that
really?
it gave me as much as it did tonight, like that was a good percentage. I'm gonna guess there was a good, probably 10 to 15% that came out of this guy.
It's not there now.
Oh, am I moving? It's moving with
Yeah.
me.
No, you need to stay in the front.
Okay.
Yeah, stay right there.
Oh, I didn't realize it.
You look weird.
I'll take yours.
I'm sure.
Or we're all waiting on Ashley for that thing to go away.
That's pretty dope.
Actually, I almost want you to kind of walk towards it, see if it changes at all.
Do you want me to walk in front?
Yeah.
Just take a quick gander up there. That way I have the footage and definitely determine the time.
I lost my cold dot. Ooh, there it goes.
Hold on. Right there it is.
Jeffrey, go to the left. I just saw it for those couple seconds. Whew. Quit running, come back.
Still see it?
The cold went on it a couple times,
Awesome.
but I haven't really seen it like I did the first time. But that first time I totally saw it move.
Let's see if you get it on the way back.
First time I saw it move all night.
That's awesome. Josh, just stay right there in frame.
Should be right where it is. Love you, viewer.
Love you.
Watch out for this box. The
I know,
box.
I know. I stepped over it earlier. Thank you.
Got the tree limb right there. So now it's stuck on top.
It's on top of Brian Eugene's head. He keeps pointing at this car.
Well, I wouldn't be filming somebody's car.
Oh. Why?
Oh, typically.
Could be sitting in there.
Could be. Could be a dude in there ready to shoot us too.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really close to the top while I was looking at it. While I was doing it.
Were we able to debunk it? Or is it still in question?
Still in question.
Okay, good. We'll stop the recording and let's wait a few minutes.